Hello and welcome to Praxis Living. My name is Edward James Carey. I create content to help you create the life that you desire. Welcome to session 14 on my $1 million journey, where I am taking a trade balance of $50,000 and turning it into over $1 million. And I intend to do it by December 31st, 2023. Today is Wednesday, August 16th, and if you've been following along, you know that I have been in a tight spot. I've had a bad week. This is the second bad week in a row. I am currently focused on dollar cost averaging my way out of some positions in order to regain some capital strength, and I started that process yesterday, even though it was supposed to begin on Monday. And I am currently about to hopefully close my first successful dollar cost average trade, and then quickly move on to trade number 2 for the day. So stay tuned. We are off to a decent start of the day, and I will be back in just a few minutes when the market's open. All right, we are at the market open. Let's go and take a look at what is going on real quick. See if we can catch up. We have shares of AI, which are down even more from yesterday's close, down to 31.59 right now. Wow. I have 68 shares, a total of 65 that I purchased yesterday, as well as 3 from an old buy order of $37.10. I have calculated out the numbers on what I need to sell these at to dollar cost average, and that is represented by this red line here on the screen. $32.93 is what I need just to break even. And so what I've done is I have added 25 cents per share just for good measure. And so I am going to sell my 68 shares at $33.18 $33.18. And that is, I should put a line on this chart here for that. $33.18. That is going to be represented by this line right here. And I'll turn that one green. The green line is my sell line, $33.18. If we can't even get up to $33.18 today, well, then this is going to be a pretty short day. So $33.18 is where we need to go in order for me to release my first round of shares and regain that capital. And then I will move on to step number 2 today, which is to rinse and repeat the cycle and target some more shares for dollar cost averaging my way out. So, who knows what will happen today? What I do know is that the markets have opened, and we are at a very, 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 very slow opening today. In fact, I don't even see any movement on the shares yet. Oh, you know what? I know what's going on. The market is so low today, I had to actually pull up the screen. And look at that. I just figured out how to scroll the screen up and down. Just click, hold, and drag. So we are way down here today, and we've got to come way up here in order for me to get out of my first position of the day. Right now we're at 31.76. So we have about $1.50 to climb before I release my first round of shares. So once again, I am being held in position by this ridiculously low market. All of my purchases from yesterday were $32.74, just about a full dollar from today's open. Higher. I did get one share for $32.29, but we even opened lower than that today, below $32. So At this point, I've kind of given up trying to figure out what AI intends to do. I know what my plan is, and that is to start targeting my dollar cost average to get my capital out of shares of AI before things get tremendously worse. Because at this point, we've already broken a previous low now of 31.65. We went lower than that today. And that was only Friday, August 11th. But I know it's been down lower than this before in the past, in the recent past, within the last 3 to 6 months. So we are making new lows that I have not yet, that I have not seen in at least 3 months' time. And I don't like the looks of that. Not when I'm holding $50,000 worth of shares of AI. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait. Morning volume today, very, very scarce. And I can't blame people. There's almost nobody trading AI this morning. Less than 300,000 or less than 400,000 people on a Wednesday morning. Let's go to AMD. AMD is down too, so AI is not the only share that's down this week or today. It seems like a trend across a lot of companies. NVIDIA, the S&P 500 is down again. Tesla looks like it spiked up a little bit. It might actually be trying to go up. Google went down a little bit. Amazon went down a little bit. AMD's down a bit, Apple's down a bit. So everything is down a bit. In fact, AI in comparison seems to be doing pretty good so far. It's trying to at least hold a kind of a steady, slow upward rally here. But again, with this little bit of volume, not much is going to happen. Until we see some players come in and some morning volume of over 100,000 shares, there's not going to be a lot of movement on this stock today. So let's hope that things get more exciting in just a few minutes here. 31.90. The first thing I'd like to see is for us to get back into the zone of $32 to $33. Because trading under $32 a share is not a good position. At least not for me. It might be good for other people that are wanting to buy AI, but I can see that those people aren't anywhere to be found right now. Now, another thing that I have been watching for that I mentioned in previous sessions is I have been watching for indications of heavy purchases to indicate some potential institutional closes on short sells. I did see this heavy buy yesterday. That's not even heavy. That's only 21,000 shares. But I have not noticed a tremendous amount of green buy orders, which would do two things right now. Number one, it would indicate the closing of short sells as big players need to actually purchase shares at a low price to close debts that they incurred to borrow shares at a high price to sell on the open market. And I have not yet seen anybody closing their positions. So they're hanging on, thinking it's going to go below even more than where it is. In the meantime, I'm going to hold firm and I'm going to hold to my guns. And we are going to see here what begins to happen with the movement on shares of AI today. Just slightly hovering back over the $32 per share value now. And what I'm hoping to see is I'm hoping to see a strong activity in the morning here, particularly on buy orders, to launch the value of this share at least back up to $33.18. Even if it doesn't stay there, It just needs to hit there for a second so that I can close my position at 33.18. So as usual, we are listening to the fantastic sounds of Stream Beats by Harris Heller. These are royalty-free music tracks for digital content creators, and not only are they free, they sound pretty good. I love them. Well, there is obviously not a lot going on today. So what I'm going to do is I am going to commit my sell order. I'm not even going to sit here trying to get more than this because there's not much point. I'm going to let my 68 shares of AI auto sell on the open market for 33.18. And then I am going to enjoy some morning meditation as I allow the market to basically wake up today, is what I'm waiting to see. The market is sleeping, still less than 350,000 share volume in the first 11 minutes of the market. So I will be back shortly and we will see what has happened this morning. Okay, I'm back at 7:02 in the market. We are just over 30 minutes into the market. I'm looking at the volume today. We're over 1 million shares so far, 1.29 million. Share value went up a little bit to around 32.44 and is now declining again. So what I've done is I've switched gears. I've taken these 3 shares of 37.10 out of the equation right now, and I'm concentrating on simply recovering the purchases that I made yesterday, the 65 shares that I purchased yesterday. That dollar cost average comes out to $32.74. We're still almost a full dollar below that. So what I am going to do is I am going to concentrate first on simply recovering my capital for the 65 shares that I purchased yesterday. I'm going to ignore those other 3 shares that I'm trying to dollar cost average my way out of for now. And I am going to attempt to regain my capital from yesterday and then consider redeploying my strategy if the markets drop lower again today. So let me just quickly set up, I'm just gonna go for break even there, 32.74. So I'm gonna put in 32.76 and I'm gonna put 65 shares. I'm gonna lock this order in so that it sells automatically the second that it crosses that line. And then I'm also gonna be present here, keeping an eye on things. And if I see a completely bolt back up, I will cancel this sell order and maybe try to add the 3 shares that I'm dollar cost averaging back into the mix. But at this point, first objective is recover the capital from yesterday, reposition and redeploy. That is the current strategy, and I will be sitting here watching and waiting for that to occur. Stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. There was this big green rally which shot up to 32.48. And when I saw that, I pulled my 65 shares off the market. And because if it shoots up that fast to 32.74, I don't want to sell my 65 shares. I want to hold and get these other 3 shares out at 32.93, which is not even 25 cents higher. So I'm going to continue sitting here watching and waiting. I'm going to keep my sell limit at 32.76 for now. I'm going to keep my 65 shares loaded, and I'm going to sit here, and if I see a sharp, fast rally up, then I'm going to recalculate things, switch my sell limit to 32.96 instead of 32.76, and take my 68 shares instead of 65 shares. So Let's see if this actually has the steam to make it up that high. Now, that one sharp buying rally was met with heavy sell resistance to knock it almost back down to where it started. So still don't know how this is exactly going to play out here yet. These sell-offs are not tremendously heavy. I'm guessing that these might be traders catching this bottom run here and just selling off at this peak because they're chickening out and they don't think it's going to go higher. So this looks like normal activity so far to me. Sitting here waiting to see another steam rally of buying orders coming in. Now that some people have sold off and caught their profit, they're waiting for the market to go down. I'm holding on for the market to continue climbing. This low volume on shares of AI this morning makes things really, really slow and difficult. We're almost a full hour into the markets today, and we haven't even broken 2 million shares yet in an hour. Here we go. We've broken our previous high value again, 32.50. Broke it by a little bit. Last one was 32.48. So far, so good. You know, it almost seems to me like the closer that it gets to my sell point, the slower that it starts to move. I cannot stand seeing that. I mean, I want it way up here at $33.18. Forget these two red lines that I'm waiting on. I want this green one up here. 33.18, man. And it's like it shoots up here to 32.48 from 32.21. And then it decides it doesn't want to do a thing. And then a little tiny spike up to 32.54. And then another steep sell-off here. Man, this is not fun. I want to see it go up through all three of these lines, and I want to see it going with no reservation whatso friggin' ever. Like, I want to see some old school activity of people coming in and dropping 100,000 shares at a time. This $15,000 volume, 11,000 volume, 10,000 volume, these are small scale numbers. Even this one in the morning, 30,000, that's getting better, but I would expect right now in the first hour to see nothing but solid bars of over 30,000 shares being moved. This whole nonsense in here about 3,000 shares a minute and 1,000 shares a minute, this is just retarded. This is activity that I expect to see in the midday. If our morning can't even break 2 million shares, I weep to see what the whole day is going to look like. More sell-offs happening. Again, I think these are people trying to do trading this morning on shares of AI, seeing it go nowhere, and now they're dumping their shares, hoping to catch a little bit of a profit. All right, so still a lot of indecision in the market activity today. I'm going to go back to my original plan and I'm going to let all 68 of my shares go. But I'm not going to try to make 25 cents on the share. I'm just going to let them go 2 cents above the break-even point. $32.96. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for it on all 68 shares. I'm just going to commit that order right now. And then I am going to go enjoy my day. There's no point sitting here watching this nonsense. I don't have any capital to buy any more shares, and nothing is going to happen until the price of shares cross back over $32.94. Until then, there's not a lot going on. I wish there was, but there's not. And month of August, it looks like I picked the perfect month to start this video series. If we make it through this month of August, everything is going to be smooth sailing from that point on. So, maybe a slow day today. We have yet to see. I'll give the market a couple more hours and see where things end up around 9:30 to 10 o'clock, and I will be back then. All right, so I am back at the markets at 11:26 a.m. I have left the markets alone all morning because it is one of those days. Let's just go to the market and look. And it has just been one of those days where there is not a lot of volatility happening. We reached a high of 32.54 earlier in the morning. We reached a low of 31.54, so there is a $1 difference in the high and the low point. But the range of where that $1 happens to be is nowhere near the two levels that I need in order to liquidate my initial positions. Even from the shares that I purchased yesterday at 32.60, 32.86, 32.74, 32.75, I even purchased one as low as 32.29, and as you can see, we only just crossed that price of 32.29 just in the past couple of minutes alone. So, I apologize, it's a very slow day. There's not a lot happening. And because I've deployed all my capital and I don't have any capital left to put into the markets at this point, I can't even take advantage of the lower prices and dollar cost average my way down even further than what I've already done. So I am beginning to wonder if, I have some options today. Option one is to leave the day and just let shares of AI just do whatever they want. I still see that looks like they're trying to rally up a little bit. But again, everything is volume dependent. We are at 11:30, and again, we are only at 5.2 million shares. Now, one thing that I would like to point out is that looking at the S&P 500 total, the S&P 500 total has not done much better than shares of AI. Nor has Nvidia, nor has Tesla, nor has Google, nor has Amazon, really, or AMD. All of these companies, these major companies, are kind of experiencing similar activity. It's not just AI. So for that reason, I'm not terribly concerned with today's underperformance of shares of AI. It looks like it's on trend with every other thing that's going on in the market. It just happens to be a bad day, or at least bad timing. If I had a lot of cash to deploy, I could have come back here and potentially bought a position at 31.54 or 31.60 today. And I could have been up over 60 to 80 cents. Likely dollar costed averaged my way out of a position already. So let's see what we have. The only share that I have so far that I'm even on is a single share at $32.29. So this is almost comical. I can't even dollar cost average one other share. Like if I tried to take one share at $32.29, and then I tried to add one share at $32.60, which is the next lowest purchase that I made, I'd get $64.89, and to divide that by 2, I would now have to reach a total of $32.45 just to break even and recover 2 shares. And even though I could do that right now, as I see we're approaching 32.34, the problem with that is if I sell those 2 shares just to break even and recover 2 shares, and then this trend that we're seeing right now for some reason, continues to increase throughout the day, if it gets to 32.74, I have the option of selling 65 shares, as long as I don't sell any right now. And it looks like it's a long way away, but we're talking about 40 cents per share. And with an additional 20 cents on top of that, I can actually unlock all 68 shares that I was hoping to get out of these at the market bell today, the 68 shares, so that I could then redeploy that capital at a low point in the day to begin a second dollar cost average maneuver. And yet here I am on Wednesday, August. I'm going to need to make note of this day. Wednesday, August 16th. And the entire day, I've just been waiting and watching and doing other things because there hasn't been a lot of activity to report. So again, I will keep my eyes on things here, 32.33. And if we move upward towards these red lines, I will come back and we will see at that time what happens. Stay tuned. If nothing else happens in the market, I will do a end of day wrap up at the market end, when the market closes. And we will see how this day plays out. Okay, it is 1:45, 14 minutes left in the market, and I've decided to wrap it up today. I'll just show you what is going on here. We have gone from what looked like a push up, which reached 32.39 earlier in the afternoon, to, again, another slump all the way down to a current value of 31.87. There's no point in hanging around for the rest of the day waiting for a comeback. Even if it does go up, it's not going to go up over $1.40 or $1.50 per share in 15 minutes. So once again, this day has resulted in basically nothing. And I said this in the past on several occasions. Money in hand is an asset. Money in trades is a liability. And hopefully today was a very clear demonstration of what I mean by that. I have a majority of my capital held in trades that I currently am trying to dollar cost average out of, and even my ability to do that is severely hindered by the fact that I have no available capital to trade. The capital that I had to trade yesterday, I put in at what I thought was going to be the lowest of the market ever reaching on shares of AI, and I was wrong. It's gone down even more, another dollar and another $1.50, in fact. So again, we're not talking about anything exclusive to AI today. We're talking about a whole market is experiencing the same kind of activity today. So on that note, I'm just going to call it a day. I'm going to hold these shares until tomorrow, and I will come back tomorrow morning and see if we have a different day than we did today. So short day, not a lot done today, but I thank you for hanging out. I thank you for bearing these videos with me, and I hope that you've learned something valuable just watching this video. Some days we don't get a lot done in trading, and there are going to be days like that. Fortunately, they're not that common. They're few and far between from what I've experienced, but they do happen. So again, if you're liking these videos and subscribing to the channel, I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. I will be back tomorrow for session 15 of my $1 million journey. And let's hope that I get back on track with some activity tomorrow. You can join me in that session right over here.